After 3 years of teaching English in Japan, I finished in the summer of 2017 and decided to get back on my bike and cycle the length of the country from north to south. A quick Google search told me that this would be at least 3,500 kilometers, but I lived here in Tottori, so first I'd have to get up to the north point of Japan. So I moved out of my apartment, packed what I needed onto my bike, and said goodbye to my friends. I would then cycle 160 kilometers over 2 days in the hot, humid weather to take a ferry to the North Island, Hokkaido.
And the weather's perfect for the first day so far. It might be too hot in a few hours, but we'll see. So excited for this. See, it's a pretty nice evening though. You can see the moon up there, clear sky, so hopefully this campsite's easy to find. It's currently 5:30 a.m. and try and get a few hours in before it gets too hot again.
I reached the ferry port by sunset and waited with the crowd of other cyclists heading north to escape the summer heat. It was a 20-hour direct ferry and I had my own bed for it. There was even a public bath and sauna on the ferry. I was really excited about Hokkaido, especially because of the nature there. Of the 6 national parks, I hoped to see at least 5 of them. When the ferry arrived, it was already dark, so I decided to camp in a park beside the port. Another cyclist from the ferry had the same idea, and we ended up cycling together for the next 10 days. The first part of the trip was 400 kilometers up the west coast, which we covered in 3 days, and arrived at WAKKANAI, the northernmost city of Japan. Before going to Soya, we decided to visit 2 small islands, Rishiri and Rebun, which are part of the first national park I wanted to visit. After the short ferry ride, we set off to climb the 1,721 meter Mount Rishiri and explore the islands.
Kenta, is it dangerous?
Yeah, very dangerous. You be careful.
I'll be careful.
Yeah. Top!
Top!
Top! Alright.
My window light, and you put your body out my window light.
We arrived back to the mainland on the last ferry, so stayed at the free campsite in WAKKANAI. We got a better view of the deer the next morning, then set off for the north point of Japan. It was only 30 kilometers from WAKKANAI, but we were against a ridiculous headwind all the way. By noon we arrived at Cape Soya, and waited our turn to get a photo at the monument. From here we went down the east coast towards the second national park, Shiretoko.
Okay, it's now day 11 maybe? 10, 11? Day 11. And well, we've been up to the north point of Japan and now we're heading down towards Shiretoko National Park, which is famous for the biggest population of brown bears in Hokkaido in Japan. So hopefully see a bear soon.
We didn't see the sun for a week, but we continued camping through the rain and saw a lot of wildlife along the way.
Open air, all this open air. We had open air.
It's turning into a nice day here. Where are the bears?
We got to Shiretoko and stayed in the busy campsite, then visited the national park, hoping to finally see a brown bear. We hadn't realised it was a long weekend, and the park was packed with tourists.
My window light. You need open air.
After collecting our stuff from the campsite, we headed up Shiretoko Pass, a 740 meter high pass through the mountains to reach the next town. On a clear day, it's possible to see some Russian islands from the top.
Okay, we're in day 13 maybe, and it's pretty exciting because we just saw a bear. We were cycling up this Shiretoko Pass, which is a 700 and something meter climb up. A car coming down started shouting, there's a bear, there's a bear. So we sprinted up the mountain as fast as we could and saw a bear. We have to wait because there's a bear in the road. Mission complete. Oh, and I've got about 5 kilometers up this pass to go. Oh, saw a bear, saw a fox. Can't wait for them. And this is what I'm cycling into.
We made it to the top and were pretty happy, despite the fact that we were wet, freezing, stuck in a storm, and couldn't actually see Russia.
How are you feeling?
Very hassle. Too bad gunshot. Beautiful view. Yeah?
The views.
Really? If you look really closely, you see Russia.
Russia.
Look right there. Where? It's Russia.
Safe to cross? Who knows? Okay, and it's the first day in Hokkaido that I'm off on my own. Today, I don't know where I'm going.
Open air, all this open air.
Hokkaido is so amazing that you can follow the road and stumble across a volcano by accident. The bad part is I find myself in the clouds twice on this day.
So I've just climbed up Lake Ashu and I'm in a cloud again. And I'm in the fog again. No more views. Pretty sure I'm at the top now. Don't know how high this is, but I've just arrived at the climbing path for the mountain. You can see here the entrance to the Tokuyama climbing road. Has to be the top, all down from here. I'm heading towards the last national park that I'll visit on this trip, Daisetsuzan. I thought I might go to the city that's 130 kilometers, not 120 kilometers more, but another cyclist told me that wasn't possible, so there must be some climbing today. And since the climb started in the fourth point, 822 meters, which is almost as high as Sleep Donner in North Nam. So I have no idea how high this is.
Thankfully, this was the last mountain pass until Sapporo, and it was all downhill through Daisetsuzan National Park. I stopped at Soinkyo for a much needed onsen. In the town there was also a free campsite, some famous waterfalls, and the ski lift to the nearby mountains. So I climbed Kurodake the next day, took some pictures of chipmunks, and found myself in a cloud again. From here, it was all downhill to Sapporo. Well, kind of. And that was it. 3 weeks, 20 hours in a ferry, hundreds of hours in a bike, 18 nights in a tent. I visited 2 islands, hiked 2 mountains, made some new friends, ate so much food, and was helped out by many people along the way.
An old man at the convenience yesterday gave me some free vegetables.
Open air, and you put your
Hokkaido was better than I could have hoped. With its unspoiled nature, free campsites, volcanoes, onsen, and wild animals, it's hard to imagine a better place for a bike trip. The first part of my trip was over, and it was time to go home to Ireland for 6 weeks, to climb some mountains and take pictures of sheep. Then I'll come back to Japan, get my bike, and cycle it all the way down to Cape Sata, the south point of Kyushu.